I recently offered a forex trader $10,000 to prove that he could make 20% per month. And I'm not just being annoying or arrogant about this. The reason I offered him this money was because he was claiming that on average, 20% is very reasonable for a forex trader that is good in the markets to be able to do, and essentially claiming that if you can't do 20% per month on average, you're not a good trader. And I was trying to make a point to say that that is not true at all, and that 20% per month expectations will likely blow accounts faster than you can say Merry Christmas. It's gonna blow! The reason I'm making this follow-up video here is because the comments in response to this video did not disappoint. And it's kind of exciting. And I also want to go ahead and talk a little bit about something. So I made this offer to this trader. I said $10,000 if you can prove you can make 20% per month on a longer term basis, not 1 month off, right? Anybody can YOLO an account and go long in one account and shorten the other and show you the winning one. That's not what I was asking. My rules to this were actually right here. And let's go over the rules that I said. And you tell me if you think it's doable in the comments. You guys let me know in the chat. I'd be curious to see more, or in the comments. I'd be curious to see more responses from you. I said the full rules to anyone who would like to take my challenge. And by the way, it's still open. Let me preface this. Not one person has taken my challenge yet.
Not a single one.
Not one person has actually gone through and done what you're seeing right here. I had a couple people who were like, hey, can I use this other broker? And I was like, no, you got to use a US broker. Anyways, here's the rules. I said the full rules to anyone who would like to take my challenge for $10,000 prize on a new public MyFXbook link provided to our support email up front, support@a1trading.com, produce an average of 20% per month for 2.5 years going forward, and share the results with us from the beginning until the end. No, coming back in 2.5 years after you have created 50 MyFXbook links and you show me the one. Show me one up front and trade it the whole time without making it private. And if you close the account or make it private prior to the end, it is disqualified. 1 link per person, no max drawdown. You can risk the entire account. 100% drawdown is allowed, but returns must average to 20% plus over the 30-month period. Must be on a US regulated broker with 50-to-1 leverage. So this makes it so you can't just, YOLO into one ginormous trade and say, hey, look, I did it, right? And also, I had some people, when I made this thing, you guys, I put this video out, and the first thing I saw were people were like sending me MyFXbooks that they had created that day, where they had just gone absolutely YOLO into like a gold long or an S&P short, where they had just put the entire account, and they're like, look, now I just can coast through the rest of the time. So I added one parameter to it. I said you have to be able to show 20% per month on average if we also remove any 2 months, any 2 hand-selected months out of the performance. And the reason for this is because, again, if on the first month you just absolutely YOLO into a very lucky trade and it produces like 1,300% returns, then yeah, it's gonna come out to 20% per month over the period. So if I could take out 2 months and you still have 20% returns, then it's really good. And so, some people responded to this, and there's a bunch of comments that we can jump into. But some people are saying, hey, if you could actually do this, you wouldn't need that $10,000. So I'm gonna up it. This time around, I'm going to offer the same rules, but $25,000.
I guess I must have fainted.
We'll see what happens here if I can get some actual people to take my challenge. I want to see somebody do it. I don't believe that it is possible to do. This is my opinion. I'm not trying to be a naysayer. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to tell you can't succeed in this stuff. I think that this is the wrong way to go about it. I think the way to become wealthy in trading, whether it be forex, stocks, indices, whatever, the way to do it is slow and steady, compounding things slowly over time. And 20% per month is not slowly. It is rather aggressive, and not the best, not even the best hedge fund managers, traders, people in the world have been able to do this and show a track record. Many people on the internet will claim that they can do this and show it to you. Let me add one more thing. Sometimes people will say, well, hey, so-and-so has done this. What I'm asking you is for you to be able to send a link to a US regulated MyFXbook. And what I mean by that is if it's on a US regulated broker, then it's going to be legitimate. But offshore brokers can pull some stuff as well and make things look too good to be true, even through MyFXbook. So the point is it has to be on a US regulated broker, so there's no cheating allowed, right? Only US regulated MyFX book brokers. Anyways, let's look through some of these comments. And again, I'm upping my challenge, $25,000. If somebody can do this for 2.5 years, same rules apply, but the prize money is upped to $25,000. If somebody can do it, I will pay you. I will gladly pay you because it will be very entertaining content for us all to watch on YouTube. I will film it, I'll record the whole process, and you can look like a hero if you think that that is something reasonable. And again, I'm not, trying to just bash people who think that this is possible. My goal is to be proven wrong. I believe that this is a very foolish way to trade the markets, but it's just my opinion. I could be wrong, and I'd love for you to prove me wrong. So do it, I'll give you the money, but not one person has taken my challenge so far, and anybody who would like to is welcome to try. So again, and my counterpoint to this, which we talk about on the channel all the time, is looking for much more conservative growth, maybe going the getting funded route if you have the skills, rather than trying to just YOLO your account and thinking that turning $100 into $10,000 is a reasonable expectation for good traders. Good traders just know how to manage risk, and this is not managing risk. All right, so let's go through some of these comments, because again, I mentioned that the comments were interesting. XD says, I've traded about 2 years. In October 22, I made 16% profit. Now I'm in the middle of December and I'm again on break even. Those who say 20% per month as a new trader is easy, definitely smoked. They definitely smoke too much.
Can't say that.
Kayshawn says 3% is great with 100 to 300K accounts. Yep, which is exactly right? If you made 1% on a 300K account, that's $3,000. If I had 18% months, but not as consistent, some months will be 7 to 10%. I average 1 to 2% daily. That is a lot, but if you could do that, then wait, 1 to 2% daily is way more than, that's like averaging 20% per month or more.
He's doing it.
If you drop the MyFX book, I will be very impressed. That's awesome though, if you're actually doing it. That's true, I lost a lot of money trying to make over 50% per month. Yeah, I feel like a lot of us have been in that boat. If you risk 5% a trade, 20% a month is reasonable. Yes, but okay. This is actually true. If you risk 5% a trade, 20% a month is reasonable. It is until it all blows up. Because if you risk 5%, and you have 10 trades go against you, right? 10 losing trades in a row, which is more possible than you might think. In order to get back to break even, you need to double the account. Because if you lose half your account, in order to double that back to the initial value, you have to make 100% returns. And that sounds like a lot of stress and very, very difficult to actually do and reliably do if you get yourself into that situation. Drawdown is a tough one because the deeper you go in a drawdown, it gets exponentially harder to get out of it. Let's see. Greg makes a good point. So 20% in a single month is possible. That's not what I'm trying to make a point with. My point is 20% per month on average over time is very unlikely, but 20% in a single month is possible if you also accept that you might have down months and that the average is not going to be 20%. King of Spades Forex says, I don't know if 20% is unrealistic. So far, the strategy that I've been testing has over an 80% win rate. Got to do more testing. My trades are all based on the daily chart, going for a 1 over 4-7. Okay, 1 to risk for 4 to 7 reward. So getting a trade mostly one time a week or a week. Mostly one time a week or a week. Might not have a setup or might have 2 in a setup. I think if you're a new trader, like 20% per month does not sound unreasonable, but it takes time once you actually get into the back testing. And this person made mention to this. Once I've been testing, he's been testing something, but he has to do some more testing. So at least he's aware, like, okay, he sees people who are more experienced saying, hey, look, that's probably unreasonable. And he's like, okay, well, I got to do more testing to make sure. But I appreciate the openness. I like this comment from Michael Hayes. Making money is an action. Keeping money is behavior, but growing money is wisdom. I figured this out a week ago. I like that comment. For little accounts like mine, $5,000, 75% in 2 years is terrible. What should I do? By the way, what he's referencing is 75% is the return that I was able to do on my personal MyFX book in the last 2 years, which is outsized returns for myself. I don't usually even do quite nearly that good. I've just had a really good run with some of the volatility recently. It's been very good for my trading strategy. But it's an outsized return for me in 2 years to make 75%. Now, for little accounts like mine, $5,000, that return is not great. What should I do? And this is where I think a lot of the frustration stems. People sometimes watch my channel and they get all heated when I talk about returns because they quickly look at their own account and they're like, hey, I only have $1,000. What you're saying is basically forex is not worth my time. And that is a short-term view of it. And if you're only looking at this stuff short-term, I would say, yeah, you're right. If you're trying to take $1,000 and make some serious money out of it, forex is not the place to do it. If anything, I think if you have $1,000 and you're trying to hustle that quickly, start some sort of side hustle, side business. Go buy and sell things. Like that's where you can actually make much better returns on a quicker basis. Forex trading and trading in general is a professional industry where people who do it well, they usually trade with very large capital size because it is something that is pretty scalable, right? Once you get to 100,000, 500,000, a million, 10 million, 100 million, you can really make some decent returns on the same decision-making process that somebody with $1,000 in their account is making. The problem is, if you only look at like the returns that you can make on a 5K account and you're disappointed, you're looking at it short term. Long term, the goal is not to just trade a $5,000 account, or it shouldn't be, at least in my opinion. I think the goal is to get up to, like I said, 500,000, a million. And so there are several ways to do that. For some people, that route is going the prop firm route. That's not the route that I took. I don't bash it. I think that there are plenty of great prop firms out there that you could potentially get involved with, get funded, and trade a larger capital size on behalf of a trading firm if you don't have capital yourself. I think that is a very practical approach to this stuff only once you have the skills. I've talked about this before. I think it's very dangerous, prop firm trading and just jumping into prop firms. Preemptively is a very dangerous way to approach this. But if you have the skills, prop firm might be the route. And the other way is more along the way of what myself and others have done, which is just the old-fashioned way. Before prop firms were really big, I had started a couple businesses. I had done landscaping growing up. That's where I really had my first deposit amounts that were of reasonable size. I had started a rental business before I got into trading and stuff like that. So I had some capital to use, but trading was not a way for me to build a bunch of wealth. But trading was a way to compound and grow money that I had already made. I think that, again, this is the very common. I've had this conversation 5,000 times on my channel. Trading, I don't think, is a way to take no money and turn it into a lot of money. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. They don't go the prop firm route. They don't go the slow and steady practical route. They just try and gamble their little account into a big one. And that's why we're having this discussion. My goal is to raise awareness to this. And I hope that for some of you new traders out there, don't be discouraged by this, be encouraged by this and say, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to try and gamble my 1K account. It's not worth losing my 1K trying to turn it into 3K. My goal should be to learn the skill or possibly eventually get funded or go the old-fashioned route, right? Have side income, use that income in your trading, and slowly just accept that this is going to be a process rather than a very quick way to success. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you. Hit the thumbs up button if you liked it, and we'll see you back next time. It looks like you made it to the end of one of my videos. Thank you so much for supporting my content. It really means the world to me. And down below in the description, I put together some of my best resources for aspiring traders who are looking to improve. I've got some free downloads that could help you, some broker recommendations, and if you'd like to join our Discord or get access to some of our trading software, all of that will be linked down below in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.